Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Darcy and I have been playing with my jelly plate again. Shocker! But guess what else I've been playing with? Ooh. A brayer that doesn't want to be in my hands apparently. My alcohol inks. Ooh, let's try butterscotch this time. Alright, so far this was just a little pickup. I had the cranberry on here. And this one has the cranberry as well with some different colors. This one has the eggplant. Yeah, I was trying for I'm not so good at doing the stencils. But then there's Stream, I think it's called, is on the other part of this one. And this one has the Stream on it too. That was the extra pickup. So yeah, I'm loving the look that I'm getting with the alcohol inks. So I think I will try some butterscotch this time and roll that on. And it dries really fast, so you kind of have to move fast. But it definitely gives it a different, oh, see, I shouldn't have gone over again because then I just pick it up again. But oh well, we'll just trial and error here, right? So, and it dries. You know, when it's thin like that, it definitely dries fast. So then I can go ahead and put some paint on. And my friend Jamie Parody, she's on Facebook if you want to go check her out. She made her gel plate, which looked perfect. It looked perfect. And she was doing like really thin layers. So she was getting what we like to call that old wall look. Using the thin layers. So that's what I've been working on, is trying to get those thin layers. And I'm using my smaller gel plate as a palette, sort of. I've got it sitting on here because otherwise it's going to pick up all those crumbs from doing the resist last night. Penny and her group did a live last night showing how to do resists. But then, you know, last night I was watching videos. Oh, I think it was actually the Jelly Plate YouTube page. It's not the Jelly Plate I get. Where is it? I can't remember which. Anyway, there's a YouTube channel that actually has just a bunch of different artists that show how they use their jelly print. You know, their system. Their their plate. That's what it's called. And I found one about alcohol inks, and she was using a stencil, and I did try the stencil, but it wasn't really working great for me, so that made me sad. But that's okay, because just putting that first layer on with some alcohol inks really seemed to make a difference, really seemed to do something. So I had the butterscotch alcohol ink on the bottom. Then I did that layer of Mountain Blue, which I'm almost out of. I love that color. Admiral Blue I also love. And then I've got the cream. I'm going to let that dry for a second because I think I'm still going to do a little bit of the green sea, which is just like a neutral for me. It just, like, it's in almost all of these, the green sea. And I just love... Like that one also has some yellow in it. That one has the green. See, it's just such a beautiful color. I love it. So I've been putting it in like everything. But then if I do that, then everything's going to coordinate because everything will have that green sea color. I think that's the color I used on this. No, not that one. Oh, I don't have them. Anyway, I did some Christmas ones and they all came out looking really cute with that green color. So, alright. It's not quite, it's a little more dry in the middle, so I'm going to start in the middle. And I've still got some white on here too, which is alright. I'm not looking for perfection. I just want to make sure I'm not picking up the last layer, basically. But I do want a little bit of this green in here. Doesn't have to be a lot. And of course, you know, couldn't find my wider brayer today. And I did that really lightly. You probably can't tell how lightly I did that. And I'm too lazy to go pick up my white paper. And I still have a stack of this gray paper here. But it doesn't seem to make too much of a difference. Like this one's on what? Well, maybe this one's on white paper, so it's a little brighter. That one's on the gray. But when you cut off the edges, it's still gonna have that old wall feel. In fact, the gray might have more of an old wall feel. I should do some pre-stamping too. See how that comes out for that damask old wall. Now that I've got this that I'm so excited about. See, there's some of that butterscotch right there. So even though the alcohol ink I used was a lighter color, it still shows up in front of the other colors. I am loving this technique. I'm doing a little bit of alcohol ink and then just thin layers. All right. Well, I'm just gonna set that there first. I might have to move this so I can do my. Yeah, this is what I'll do. I'll go ahead and take that off. And then I will do my, oh, if I can find it, one of my damask, the only stamp I've seen here today. Oh, here it is. Yay! How often does that happen in my world? Not very. So I'm going to stick that on there. I'm like, what is that moving? A little ornament over there, and it just like, oh. I prefer the watering can because that way it's a little bit more aged. And I'm just gonna put this on here. I'm not doing it perfect on purpose because I don't, we want old wall. We don't want freshly wallpapered wall, do we? Hopefully that. I'm trying to get it somewhat of a pattern though. All right. That should be good. And then I wanted to do some cracks too, but I saw that earlier, but do you think I can see it now? Of course I can't. How about a little bit of Harlequin for fun. Alright, and if I find the cracks, I'll stick those on there, but, it was in my face a little bit ago, and it's gone now, because it's gone, gone, the girl is gone. Seriously, I saw it. Kind of bugging me that, like, it was in my face, and now it's, like, nowhere. We'll pay no attention to the very, very messy desk. Back to the gel plate. All right, we've got some of the dark bluish greenish on there again. And I do like that. But let's see what else we have. Sailboat Blue, which I think is like a bright blue. Oh, I haven't done any green. We got lettuce. Citrus. That'd be like a lime green. Ooh, I think I know. Wild plum. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Whoops, my glue has to get in the way. Watermelon, which I'm assuming is like a pinky color, and cranberry, which I did earlier. I think I want to see what lettuce does, but let's do wild plum first. Let's get this ready to go. All right. There we go. Got some wild plum going on here. And I took kind of more of it off than I probably want to, but that's okay. And I think I will, where's my buff titanium that I just had in front of me? Because I did. You know what? Let's just go do green first then. Do our green sea. Because that's fun. And I'll see, the one lady I was watching, she uses this as her plate, and she says that way you prime your brayer. And I don't know. That's what she was doing. That's what I'm doing. And it wasn't quite primed there, was it? And I'm just doing really lightly. And if I do really thin layers, I don't have to wait as long between them drying either. I'm doing super light. If I was doing any heavier than this, it would just start picking up again. Now, I don't know where my unbleached buff went. That's not it. That's not it. Huh. It's alright. I've got some antique white that I can try. It's my antique white. I'm just like, it just awes me that I can like lose stuff so easily. I'm actually a little bit tempted to do a layer of the Tuscan red. We'll see. Like in the back. Do a little bit of a dark. I'm amazed at how much color like comes through when you do like a really light layer like that. Because you think you have it totally covered, but then when it comes up, you're like, oh, look, I could still see some of the cream and some of the green. So I find that intriguing. Intriguing. Look at that. I've got like all the colors on this now. Let's see. Well, I might just go ahead and pick this up. And I can always add another layer if I want to. Why was I worried about getting to the edges? The paper doesn't even go to the edges. So now I have to decide, do I want to learn how to make my own gel plate, or do I keep wanting to spend money on them? Because Jamie's came out looking so good. She said she used the recipe from Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, I think she said. And she did hers 9 by 13. But my 9 by 13 pans are so grody, I don't think mine will come out quite so clean. I don't know if you use parchment paper in it or what. And I don't think I have glycerin. That's the one thing I would have to get. I do have some other stuff. So you could definitely see a lot of the plum. And then where some of the plum hit the paint that was already on there, that's where you get these really cool specks. And a darker purpley looking. Like it's like changed the color of it and everything. Or something. I don't know. That one. Alright, and you can see the wall a little bit through there. I mean the stamping. Wonder if I should do black on the stamping. Alright, that one not perfect. That's okay. What was the color? I wanted to try the not citrus, lettuce. Lettuce be friends. Well, look at that green. Oh, that is a nice grungy green. Alright, I'm going to try not to go over that one as much and leave more green down. And, you know what I haven't done in a while? Some gesso. Let's do like a light layer of gesso, just so that green will pop a little bit maybe. Because why not? Use our finger. Use our finger tool. I got paper towels. Those I can find. I'm going to move this and set this somewhere, and then I won't be able to find it when I try it again. And there goes all my alcohol inks. Their container just tipped over. That's because I have that, which is, if I want to extend, is that the extender? And then I also have the, this is like a blender, I think. Yeah, blending solution. So if I wanted to blend them, I could. I kind of want to do a little bit of that. Because I haven't really mixed the colors except in that first couple stencils. Well, except that first stencil that I tried, I should say. So, a little bit of gesso, which of course will be translucent, right? It's not quite as opaque as some other paints. Although I think a chalk paint seems to be the most, is opaque the word we want if you can't see through it? Chalk paint seems to be the most blocking. I think opaque is the word. I should really, that was grade school. I remember learning, because I remember translucent, because we had the transom in the door, and so they'd be like, think of the transom where light comes through. Trans and lucent means light. So that I remember. Oh, let's see. Color. I might even bring in a little bit of black this time. Let's see. What did I use? The green. The lettuce be friends green. What do I want to do with that? I still want some light colors first. Nothing too... Sometimes choosing the colors is the hardest part. Oh, where's my khaki? Let's do a little bit of khaki. It's a little bit dark. It's darker than the unbleached buff is darker than the antique white, and the khaki is definitely darker than the unbleached buff, which still has disappeared on my table for weird. We have sleet and icy rain today, and my husband and my son both had to work, so this does have a little bit of a yellowy, maybe that's why I like using the Naples yellow. It's just the Naples yellow has a little bit more yellow than this, but still has a nice look for an old. I'm doing super light right now, and see how I have like really thin layers? Yep, just having fun. Oh, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I had like a video like every day this week. That doesn't happen. Oh, where's my umber? Raw umber. And then of course, you know, everyone was home Friday. So, oh shoot, that's more than I wanted. And I was gonna do a video last night, and then I watched Penny's live, so did that instead. So I did not get another I did not get another video done by 8 o'clock this morning, but if I do this video, at least I'll have this video to put up later today. So, and then I should do another organization video, but everyone will be home from work by the time I even finish with this, they might be home. My husband's, his shift ends at 3, but the next guy comes in at 1. There's like one guy at work that does the 4 days, 10-hour kind of a deal. So he comes in at 1. So my husband is able to leave, and then he'll come home and then finish his shift on downstairs. He has the ability to work from home, but I think he had to go in to because the last person that worked was in there. So in order to forward the phone, he had to go in to do that, because the last shift wasn't somebody at home to be able to forward the phones. I guess. I don't know. But if the phones are forwarded, I guess that means he can stay home tomorrow if the weather's bad again. Alright, so you can kind of see that lettuce green. Of course, you can't really see the gesso much, but it does lighten it up some. And then we've got the khaki and then the raw umber behind that. And just some lines and stuff. And then we had the cranberry, no, the plum from before. What was it called? Not plum. Was it plum? Something like that. And that. So now, okay, but this one is just my favorite one. The stream. I'm gonna see if I can do this, because I've got brown paint all over my, I'm just doing this lightly. I don't want to make any marks in my gel plate itself. Alright, see how quickly the alcohol ink dries. Grab this alcohol ink down here. Good thing this is not my food. Then I'm going to put a little bit of this raw umber. Oops, getting some lines in there. Don't really want that. Just a super light layer. You can even still see some of the blue through there. And the lines are going to be much different this time, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. We'll see. All right, I could use my antique, but oh, actually, wait, yeah, where is my antique? Here's my, oh, here it is. Because I've got the raw umber there, so the antique, when I put it on there, is going to become more of a, should make some with the raw umber there, right? You would think, maybe not. Don't know what my obsession is with going both ways. But I'm doing it super light, and I'm just getting like the lightest layer. Like you can't even hardly tell that there is any cream on there, can you? Ooh, you know what I want to do next? The green. Just something about this green. There's just something about this green that I just... And since I've got the stream in the front, I want to kind of bring some more of a bluish green into the back too. Dry, dry. Doesn't want to dry. All right. I'm doing it super light. Learned that from Jamie. Isn't that funny? All the things I learned doing the super light thing, I learned from a newbie. But I really liked how hers were coming out. I think sometimes, like, if you've been doing it a while, you forget to say things. Like, you know, for thin layers, do it super light. I'm just, like, barely. And then I can see there's still some empty spots in there. So, I might do something super weird. And I might do a little bit of light pink on that very back layer. And I'm going to let it dry a minute, though. Where's my fan? Actually, didn't have my fan turned on for once. Let's see if I could dry this a little. Don't use a heat gun. That much I know. Because you don't use a heat gun. But I'm hoping some cool air will be fine. Just want to dry it some. I can definitely see shiny spots, so I know it's still wet. That's oh, I don't remember who said that. Someone I was watching. I watch a lot of videos on gel plates. Oh yeah, definitely starting to dry now. Which will make a big difference in how my last layer goes on with it being dry. So we have that teal green, it's called Stream. And raw umber. Yes, ice storm outside. I actually don't need my fan today for once. The raw umber, the antique white, and the sea green, and now some portrait pink. Super thin layer though. I'm not, because I know it looks weird. We're gonna see what happens. I mean, it might look weird right now, but it might be the coolest thing ever once we get it on the gel plate. I don't know. I gotta play with colors so that I know all the yummy goodness I can get. Like, who knew that yellow would be such a good in-between color with the random, you know, without it becoming too yellowy. All right. Doing it super light. I'm just kind of smoothing that layer out. Look at that. Okay, now, while it's still wet, then we put our paper on. So we want dry layers in between putting on layers, but our last layer to be picked up, you need to get it while it's still wet. So you can pick up all that yummy goodness that you just put on the plate. Yeah, baby. Checking my time. Because if I can keep it under 46 minutes, I don't have to merge the video. And you know how happy that makes me? It saves me so much time. All right. Are you ready to see what happened? Are we ready? What are you thinking? Okay, definitely can see the alcohol ink on this one. And it gave it a lot of texture, having those lines going back and forth. And we see the raw umber there. And a little bit of the antique white. You can definitely see some of the green. See that green there? And some of the pink in the background. Yep, definitely could see that. And I think those colors are fun and grungy and good. And now I'm going to do those colors without the alcohol ink and see what happens. But in a different order, I guess, because I've got pink on here right now. So I'm just going to put a thin layer of the pink, if I can. And then what did we have? The raw umber. I think I'll do green first. Because why not? Can you imagine what's going to happen when I put this pad on some paper? That's going to be fun. Got a little heavy-handed there. Okay, whoops. And then if you press down too hard, yes, you will start to pick up what you just laid down. So, gotta watch for that, doing thin layers. Now, if you watched me the other day, I had these on paper. I was watching somebody and found out you don't put them on paper. Because that oil that was leaking out onto the paper was mineral oil. And you want to keep mineral oil in your gel plate. Alright. Still have some of this green here. I'm going to go around my edges with it. That's what I'm gonna do, which will hopefully give me a nice bold edge. We'll see. All right, raw umber, where'd you go? You're here. Some raw umber. So I'm doing the same colors but in a different order without the alcohol ink. Of course, there could still be a little bit of alcohol ink on the plate from all the different times. And my raw umber is a weird, it's got some of the green in it, but that's all right. I'm all right with that. If I want to darken it up a little bit, I can, but I kind of like that it's not super dark. We only have a tiny bit of pink on the front. Should we do a little more pink? Gotta dry it first though, don't we? So how's everybody doing today? If this goes out today, then that means it's Saturday. But that doesn't mean you watch it on a Saturday, because if y'all have as many subscriptions as I do, you have probably behind on your videos. Like I am. Well, when I was sick, I didn't watch as many videos too, so that kind of affected. Oh, I haven't done any antique white yet, have I? I might not. Just do a little pink on this last layer. So, see, Nathan's the only one home. He's my quiet one. He's up and walking about and listening to whatever he's listening to. Alright, a little bit of brown could get into my pink, and that's okay, because that just makes all my colors, means all my colors will, like, have a common denominator, right? This would stop rolling the other day, so I cleaned it, just because I didn't want it to stop rolling. Now, it says light pink on my bottle, but when I ordered it, it said portrait pink, so.
Everyone eat all
it's kind of
the
a
chocolate ones. Who eats the chocolate one?
Chocolate one, what?
Hot chocolate.
I did when I started, because, alright, when I had COVID, I lost my sense of smell and taste, and now I don't like iced coffee anymore. And I'll try hot coffee. I never really liked hot coffee. So I was drinking hot chocolate, and I don't like the caramel hot chocolate and the mint hot chocolate. I'm more of a plain Jane kind of gal. So I bought.
I'll probably just have the vanilla hot chocolate. Ooh,
Land O'Lakes, the 4-pack. It has 4 different kinds. It's like a 30-pack or something for them. And
I'm just cold, so I'm wondering if I should have hot chocolate or bake cake.
you could bake them into cupcakes. It'll be easier.
I don't want them as a cupcake.
Oh, all right. We'll bake them as a
have
cake.
frosting.
I got frosting to go with the cake, yes. I bought him a cake mix so that if he's cold one day, he can just make a cake. I don't know if he's cold or if he just wants cake.
I'm cold.
He's cold. Because I forgot to get muffin mixes. Although you could do muffins from scratch, you know. They're not that hard. I've been thinking about like making some bread and stuff like that, but that takes me away from here. I know it's just another form of creating, but
I might not use the frosting if I make Italian bread.
so I still had a little bit of something on the plate, and that is like, that's what I love. And using the alcohol ink seems to get me that more, that little splotchiness. Okay, so we have the green and the raw umber and the pink. It's kind of a cool combination. I don't know. I think I'm doing it too perfectly right now. I need more of this gloopy stuff. That's what I want. More of that. What color have we not tried? I've done the cranberry. Well, you know what? I haven't tried this Sailboat Blue. Let's try that. I knew it was going to be that kind of a blue. All right. And I still have some paint in my thing too, which is going to come off on the thing, which is okay. It's going to be like a weird baby's room with the blue and the pink. I don't know. Who knows what it'll turn out like. All right. So we get that. And then, oh look, it's my unbleached titanium right in front of my face. It's always right in front of my face. In case you ever wondered. That's the raw umber. I'm thinking about bringing in some yellow ochre. Because, whoops, guess we're bringing in a lot of yellow ochre. Because why not? Try different color combinations. I know, it looks like it's going to be really gross and weird, doesn't it? But it might not. You just never know till you try. So get some Winnie the Pooh in there. See, the crayon color of this was like maize, sort of. Because that's the color I would always pick for Winnie the Pooh was the maize. It was kind of yellow like this. So this color definitely makes me think of Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. Anybody else used to watch? Anybody else grow up loving Winnie the Pooh? I don't know that we really read the books much, but I know I loved. Probably mostly would have watched Winnie the Pooh on a Sunday night, right? Were they Disney back then? Wonderful World of Disney. Back when I was growing up. How many of you are in that age group where Sunday night you watched the Wonderful? We didn't have a whole channel dedicated to Disney. Or how many channels does Disney have? We had Sunday nights. I guess probably must have been ABC. They probably owned it back then, right? All right, now I'm bringing in a neutral. And I didn't even wait for it to dry. I'm just way too impatient for that kind of a thing. Anybody else impatient who doesn't like to wait for things to dry? All right, what's next? What should we do next? I kind of want to do something to grunge it up since I have like that bright blue and the pink on the front layers. So, I don't know. Got walnut spray oxide. I've never really put it on. Interesting combination. Enjoy. Because why not try some just walnut stain distress oxide on here just for weirdness. If it even shows up, I guess the longer it stays wet, the longer it's gonna. Alright, let's try drying it and see. Because I kind of want to do one more layer. I don't know what that next layer is, but I want to do one more layer. And we'll see what That way we'll see the back layer and see if that walnut stain oxide shows through or not. In front of the back layer, whatever that ends up being. Plus, I think it has some, I think they call it webbing, where there's some separation. So whatever I put on the very back is definitely going to come through the front on some of these parts. Any guesses on what color I want to put on next? This is going to be an interesting print because I've got some random colors on here. Oh, I don't know if high or low makes a difference or not. It seemed to dry faster when I had it on low. Isn't that weird? Don't you wish you had a fan you could just put in your hand? This was my desk fan from work when I worked at the tax office. And they bought it for me. So when they moved, they were like, well, we don't use a fan in our face all the time. Take the fan. So that's my little memory from working at the tax office that I got to keep. Alright. Got quite the buildup. I kind of wish I had more than one palette. Yeah, I wonder how much glycerin is. Well, I have Gamsol, but that's mineral oil, right? I have, oh, you know what I have that has glycerin in it, though? The refresher ink, I think, has glycerin. I don't know. I wonder if you can do a thing using refresher ink. Because I definitely have gelatin. I have like a big thing of gelatin. Well, the gray paper is going to show through the back because I'm too lazy to wait for that to dry and do another layer. Plus, I'm curious to see what this turns out. I think this is the last one. Yeah, well, I got 10 minutes, but if we go through and show the ones that I made today. And I think I made them off camera yesterday, so we'll see. Oh, and I can show you, I made, where are they? I'll show you the resists I made last night and a couple of cards that a couple journal cards using those painty papers I made this past week. The really grungy. Oh, I forget what that lady called it. That you could see. All right, actually. Wow. Were you expecting that? I'm like, what happened to that baby blue? It, in the pink, like, it's going to come up on the next poll, which is going to be a pretty awesome poll. Okay, let's see what we have left on here. Get as much off of this as we can, all this grunginess. Because you know we have to pull up this last layer of good. I mean, I could save it to the next play. Definitely could do that. But, oops, that's way more than I need. People, it's not just primed, it's, I need a piece of paper too so I could get off some of that really thick gunk. Stop. So this is the khaki. And then I will probably still do something with the rest of that khaki. And let's just do that real quick. Another piece of paper. So I'm not rolling it in this time. I'm just letting it sit. And we'll see if it shows through or not. Shows through this side. Here, I can clean off my brush now, can I? Not my brush, my brayer. And then I'll have something on the other side. So if I end up using it in a journal, there'll be some nice grunge on this side too. I really wanted to get the edges all on there. Alright. Still got a lot staying down on the... See, look at that. All that stayed down on there. Alright, there's where I did the spray. So that came through. That's cool. And some more of the blue still picked up. And some of the yellow from before, because I didn't put yellow on this time. So that is interesting. It's fun. It's a little bit old wall looking, right? All right, I'm going to save this yummy goodness for my next play, because that's just beautiful. Don't look at the table. It's messy. So there's one we did. And there's one. Okay, we're in camera. Good. It's always good. And that one. And you guys were here with me when I did that one. And I can't remember if we did that one together, if I did that one before. This one was before I turned on the camera. That one I think was before I turned on the camera, as was that one. I was just like, oh my goodness, these are coming out so cool. Let me turn on my camera. That was the very first one I did today. And then, of course, when I did that, there's a lot of alcohol ink on there, so I was able to get some of the alcohol ink onto this background paper that I had. That is just grungy paper I made last night with some paints I had sitting around after making that, which is a resist with candle wax. I was able, some of it I got the candle wax off, so it's more gray there. I was kind of waiting for the paint to totally dry, and then I might melt the wax and take it off, because it's just, and then this was resist using Vaseline, and this one was using crayon, not a fan. Then those grungy papers I did last week, this is a journal card, I put napkin over it, and I did some, I can't remember if I did that stamping with you guys or not. I've got some stenciling and stamping. I don't remember if you remember that paper. It's got that yellow chevron there. And then this, I collaged some of the grungy papers, and then I had that this cluster that I put on there. And then I watched Joey DeFee yesterday, and I made a little smaller, brighter version of her pop-up. Well, I didn't sew it, I glued it. I was too lazy to get my sewing machine out, so it doesn't pop up quite as well as hers. But that's what I made yesterday watching her. So that is what I've been up to. I have like a million. I really should be cleaning, or I should be oh, here's the last ones we did. Collaging, which would help clean up some of my stuff. So anyway, this was fun. I love you guys. Have a delightful day.